Good morning. Time is 8:07. Beautiful start here in north central Wisconsin. Fair skies, blue skies, some sunshine out there. Temperature of 32 degrees. I am Chad Holmes. It is the Monday edition of the Chad Holmes Show. 98.9 WXCO, online at WXCO.FM. Mobile devices and Alexa by searching WXCO and on the Civic Media app. You can also join us at youtube.com. Go to the 98.9 WXCO page on YouTube and be able to see a video stream there as well. We would like you to join in with your thoughts, your questions, anything on your mind, whether we're talking about it or we're not talking about it. You can call or text us at the same number, 715-382-9297. That's 715-382-9297. Again, call or text at that number. Also, you can use your Civic Media app to join us. Just open up the app. If you don't have the app, go to your app store, search Civic Media, download it. It is free. And then you'll have all of the Civic Media radio stations right at your fingertips. The fourth one down on the app is 98.9 WXCO. Open it up. There's a button to call, a button to text, a button to listen to our stream, to email, to go to the website. It's all right there on the Civic Media app. Coming up in just a few minutes, we're going to find out about a very warm Monday, a very spring-like Monday. We are hitting some spring weather. So we'll get all the details from our meteorologist, Brittney Merlot, coming up in about 12, 13 minutes or so at 8:21 this morning. Also coming up, we're going to talk a little bit about a tragic story that is affecting a family and the entire D.C. Everest school community. And I'm sure many of you heard about it. It's been reported on. Going to have a few thoughts on that and talk about what happened and what maybe we should be thinking about and doing during this era of technology that really at times is a wonderful stride forward, and at other times it really does cause a lot of unforeseen circumstances and a lot of issues, and again, just a very tragic story. So we're going to discuss that coming up a little bit later on as well. Coming up at the end of the program, we'll have our daily history lesson. We will have a look at some famous events that have occurred on this date in history, some celebrity birthdays, days that are being acknowledged, events that are being acknowledged today. And then, of course, we'll finish things off with our number for the day quiz with Ian Welsh, see if he can get off to a good start as he tries to ultimately get that perfect week. And every Monday, we always start off perfect. See if we can stay perfect, at least for today, with the number for the day quiz coming up at the end of the program. So that's all on tap here on this Monday. Daylight savings time has begun. It feels very early. I'll say that much. It was, the early part, you're still trying to get back your body used to daylight savings time. So it's 8:10 right now. It feels like 7:10. I'll say that much. But again, it's really a beautiful morning. Now we get a little bit of extra time at the end of the day. And I know a lot of people are very, very excited about that. And with today being a spring-like day, it will actually be, I think, a perfect kind of day to start off daylight savings time if you get done with work, a chance to get out there and enjoy the weather at the end of the day. Before we get any further, we need to say hi, hello, and good morning to our in-studio engineer, our in-studio producer, Ian Welsh. Ian, good morning.
Good morning, Chad. It's going to be a beautiful day.
I know it, but this daylight savings time, I know that I've said it in the past.
Yeah.
I know I'm in the minority. I think when you talk to people, there are those who like it the way it is in terms of having a number of months during the winter time, especially where it's standard time. So it's not too dark when the kids go off to school, but they like the fact that from here in early March until sometime in November, we have daylight savings time. And then there are others who say, well, we should have daylight savings time all the time. We should never go back to standard time because then we have more time at the end of the day after work where there is sunlight. And then there are those like me that I've cited a few of the studies that say that the body, there is a reason that the lunar cycles and the like, that sometimes it does adversely affect the bodies. There have been studies that daylight savings time does adversely affect the bodies because it does take what is the normal cycle and alters it by an hour. And that there are reasons that the body is aligned in some ways with the lunar cycle. But in the end, I don't believe that anytime soon that my way of thinking will be put into effect. I guess better to keep it the same way now than to make it totally daylight savings time. But what about you? Are you happy that we are now back into daylight savings time?
I guess I'm happy because we get a little extra time during the day, and the sunset is not as early as it was the last couple of months. But I think for me, mostly just the fact of losing an hour of sleep just throws me off my sleep schedule a little bit, and I just wake up a little more, grumpy than usual the next day. But it's only a 1 day thing, so
you'll get used to it.
Yeah.
Well, how did the audition go this weekend? You auditioned for what show?
I auditioned for Anastasia because the Wausau Community Theater is putting it on as their summer show. But overall, just my whole weekend was so much fun. I mean, the weather was getting nicer on Saturday night. I did a really fun masquerade, a ball, a murder mystery. I had such a blast. I got to see some good friends of mine, had some amazing food, and just get to be a fun character and get to participate in a cool murder mystery. And everybody was in character, and so many cool costumes as well. And the funny thing about my character is my character was actually a radio host, so it actually ties in well with my personal experience. So I was able to take my knowledge from working at a radio station and apply it to my character as well. But that was my Saturday night. And then Sunday night was just a great way to top off the weekend because I had a fantastic audition. I mean, I nailed my song I had prepared. I felt really good about it, and I did my monologue. I used my strategies for keeping the pace and not trying to rush through it. And overall, I was very proud of myself. I did my best, and I have no regrets. I felt really good after it. So hopefully, well, it's going to be a while until they actually post the cast list because, well, first they're going to have callbacks for certain people to come back next Sunday but just in case they need to see some, previous auditions again, get a feel for how they interact with other actors. And then the cast list, and Brenton was telling us this at the end of auditions, the cast list will be posted on the 18th. So a week from tomorrow. Oh, so and now comes the hard part.
I know, you wait.
The waiting, because the waiting is the hard part.
That's what Tom Petty said.
As an actor, it's just, you spend all this time preparation and you do the best you can. And then you're like, okay, so what do I do now?
I know.
And
So
now I just have to wait. So I'm gonna make sure I take advantage of, getting out aside, enjoying the beautiful weather, and maybe get a book from the library because that's a good way to pass the time.
right,
But overall, it's just a really awesome and fun-filled weekend.
fantastic.
I know it was busy for you as well because you had all those games.
It was a busy weekend. It was interesting doing the show from the hotel room on Friday morning.
Mm.
Everything goes smooth on this end. Everything sound okay.
It sounded really good. We didn't have any technical issues. It was coming through on the radio pretty well, and yeah, didn't have any issues here.
Very good. So
Thank goodness for that.
no, that was terrific. But yeah, it was a busy weekend. Started on Thursday after the show. I went down and had an exciting Central Wisconsin Storm state semifinal game. They won in overtime, then stayed over on Thursday night. Friday had a doubleheader, and in fact, we had 3 games total because Tom Weaver did one of the games, but I did the Wausau West state semifinal on Friday afternoon. Unfortunately, the Warriors fell in that game to a Notre Dame Academy 8-4. But then when that game ended, immediately got into the vehicle, traveled back up to Wausau to do the boys basketball regional semifinal between Wausau West and DC Everest. Got there in time, so everything went smoothly on that realm.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, so it was a little bit of a rush job. Tom was over in Marathon doing the marathon game on Friday. Then I went back to Madison Saturday to do the state championship girls hockey game with the Central Wisconsin Storm as they fell to wrap up their season to the Bay Area Ice Bears.
That sucks.
And then Tom went to Auburndale to do the marathon boys game in a regional final. Tom had a very exciting game. That game went down to a buzzer beater. Unfortunately for the Red Raiders, they came up just short to Auburndale 51-49. So that means that we're at the end of our winter sports play-by-play schedule.
Yeah.
All of our teams are done because none of our girls basketball teams made it to state, which are coming up this week. None of the boys basketball teams, Wausau West Marathon and Newman Catholic, made it to the sectionals, which go on Thursday and Saturday. So we've come to the end of a very busy winter sports season. But
it's unfortunate, but sometimes that's the way it goes. You win some and you lose some.
But we'll have more high school sports coming up in the spring with baseball and softball, so that won't be too far away. And there's still some area teams involved in the boys basketball sectionals. Hopefully they'll be able to make a deep run as well.
Yeah.
The time is 8:18. Coming up next, it is Brittney Merlot and the forecast here on 98.9 WXCO.
Good morning, Brittney.
Good morning. How was your weekend?
Oh, so much have fun. I went to a murder mystery party on a Saturday night, and then I got to audition for Wausau Community Theater's upcoming show, Anastasia. So I had a busy weekend.
That's awesome. My gosh.
And today's going to be a
Mystery.
great way to start off the week. It's going to be a beautiful day.
Heck yeah. Gorgeous.
Not very good for the winter sports people, but
Yeah, I think that's over for
there's
us.
still a little bit of snow up in the Northwoods, so at least they still have a little snow left.
Just a little bit. It's almost like you got to go to the UP.
Mm-hmm. Very true.
Yeah.
be shy, because you will not believe your eyes. She's right here behind the glass. You're gonna like her, because she's got class.
And welcome back, Chad. Home Show 98.9 WXCO. Online at WXCO.FM. Mobile devices and Alexa by searching WXCO. And on the Civic Media app. The time is 8:22, 32 degrees here in downtown Wausau at the corner of Washington Street and North 3rd Street in downtown Wausau. Again, you can join us by also watching on YouTube.com. Go to the 98.9 WXCO page on YouTube, and you can add your questions and comments there, or by calling or texting, same number, 715-382-9297. That's 715-382-9297. You can join the program, and you can also use your Civic Media app as well to call, text, or email. And beautiful start here on this first weekday of daylight savings time. Sun is just rising, but lots of blue skies. And again, just a gorgeous start on what should be a beautiful spring day. And yep, spring day here in north central Wisconsin. To talk a little bit about the weather, we're joined again by our meteorologist, Brittney Merlot. And Brittney, good morning.
Good morning. I feel like I'm everyone's favorite person today because summer is taking over Wisconsin.
I tell you again, you're exactly right. And that's something that we're not used to. And I mean, I have no idea how long it's been, but it's been a very long time since we've had temperatures what we're going to get today.
Yes, we are going to be breaking records across the state. Some places are going to hit 70 degrees. Here for us, I think we're going to hit 66, which shatters our 61-degree record set back in 2012. So all we have to do is get above 61 degrees. We're making history, and I think we're absolutely going to do that. And I think people are going to be in shorts, and Chad's already in a short-sleeve shirt. It's fantastic. Smiles everywhere because this is only going to be here today. All right, we are going to drop colder tomorrow. So
it is March. It is March. We're going to be up and down. You're going to get spring-like days. We're still going to get snow. You know it, right?
Oh, yes. And I've got that in the forecast. And we got a ways to wait. But it is a roller coaster, let me tell you. So today we're going to be super warm, breaking records in those mid to upper 60s. Then tomorrow we fall to where we should be in the upper 30s. So that's going to be a 30-degree difference right there. Then Wednesday, we climb mild again into the low 50s. By Thursday, we're in the upper 50s. And by Friday, we're right back to the upper 60s. Feeling fantastic, but that is when everything changes. You know, a storm system's doing that. So Friday night, we're looking at our first widespread chances of thunderstorms potentially, turning to rain throughout our Saturday. So a bit dreary, still comfortable though in the mid 50s. And then yes, it does want to flip to some snow on Sunday. As it drags in those colder temperatures behind it, highs will only be at about 30 degrees on Sunday with some very light snow chances. This is only going to put down maybe 2 inches up into the Northwoods, so we might get a trace or so. Nothing major, so no outdoor wreck for the winter enthusiasts coming from that storm, but the spring lovers, the summer lovers, the people who have been waiting patiently for the warmth, it's definitely moving in. So it's nice to feel it on this roller coaster ride this week. And even as we go into next week, it does return. So very mild, comfortable temperatures are in our forecast, which is nice.
And as I was saying to Ian earlier, being the first weekday of daylight savings time, to have a day like today, to be able to, for folks, because one of the big things is people like the idea of having an extra hour of daylight at the end of the day. This will be the perfect day if you're at work right now and you're going to be heading home at 4 or 5 o'clock. Take advantage of it because it's going to be a beautiful late afternoon. People can get out there and walk around without a jacket.
Oh gosh, it gives me the chills right now. That's so exciting. I mean, the sunset won't even be until about 7 last night, 7:30, so it's fantastic.
Absolutely. Well, what are the details here for the forecast?
Breaking records, feeling like summer. Beautiful sunshine throughout the day today. Highs in those mid to upper 60s. We will stay sunny tomorrow after the passing of that cold front, but highs will get pushed down to where we should be right now in the upper 30s tomorrow. But we warm things right back up. Ton of sunshine all week long. Wednesday will hit 50. Thursday, the upper 50s. And Friday, right back to the upper 60s, probably breaking some more records. But then again, we get a little wet as we push into the weekend.
Sounds fantastic. Well, we're definitely going to try to enjoy that weather here today. And again, Springtime.
Woo!
The very popular Brittney Merlot. Brittney, thank you very much, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.
Bye,
Thanks,
Brittany.
guys. Soak it up. Enjoy it.
That is our meteorologist, Brittney Merlot, joined us every weekday morning at this time right here on the program. Right now in downtown Wausau, fair skies, temperature of 32, but it's going to rise and rise very quickly. Winds out of the southeast at 5 miles per hour. The dew point is 28, relative humidity of 85%. The barometer at 29.68 inches and a visibility of 10 miles. And I know that one of the things that people are going to be talking about, because I know definitely that your dad's going to be hearing about it, is when will the golf courses open? When you get temperatures like this. But the thing about it is it's going to be very wet out there
My
because
dad's been getting ready.
but that's
wait till the courses are dried off a little more.
Because when you melt that snow, especially when it melts quickly,
then
that
goes
snow
up the
goes away.
rivers, and then you have a little flooding on the golf course.
Yep, it takes a while.
You can still play. You just can't use the carts.
No, and you don't want to be sloshing around in it. And all of a sudden it becomes even when the weather's nice, you're sloshing around and up about your thigh high, you're drenched. But I know people are going to be keeping a very close eye on that and watching to see when our area golf courses and so many really good area golf courses
eventually.
Be
patient. It will happen. Those golf courses are going to be packed in. My dad's going to be doing really good business.
Absolutely. So lots to look forward to when it comes to the spring and the summer seasons.
Indeed.
The time is 8:28. Coming up, we're going to have a look at what's going on, whether it's news, weather, sports, entertainment. We do it at the top and bottom of every hour. Information update right here on 98.9 WXCO. And then coming up, we're going to talk again about a tough story to talk about. Some very hurt folks in central Wisconsin. So we're going to touch on it and again, feel for the pain that folks are going through in the DC Uppers community. Coming up, again, news, weather, and sports. The time is almost 8:29. Again, beautiful start here in north central Wisconsin. 32 degrees and some sunshine. With Ian Walsh, I'm Chad Holmes. Chad Holmes Show, 98.9 WXCO.
And the answer was plain to see, 'cause I saw the light in your eyes, in your eyes.
Hello there, this is James.
Melissa,
Chad,
and Seth, inviting you to come work with us. Civic Media is looking for a full-time sales professional to work with existing and new broadcast and digital media clients.
we're a fast-growing company that offers competitive wages, benefits, a relaxed working environment that focuses on quality of life, and includes a team of support to reach our shared goals.
Join us in continuing what we have done for 80 years. Be a part of the community, put into the community, celebrate community.
find out more by contacting Chuck Gennaro at 715-935-8030 or email chuck.gennaro@civicmedia.us. All inquiries are confidential. Civic Media Incorporated is an equal opportunity employer, and we look forward to you joining us.
Hey, Wisconsin, it's construction season, and the Wisconsin DOT wants to help you safely navigate work zones. Check 511wi.gov or download the app for road work or closures on your route. Know before you go with 511 Wisconsin. Sponsored by the Wisconsin DOT.
Sometimes I don't know. Sometimes I don't know. I just don't know what to feel. Sometimes I don't know. Sometimes I don't know what to feel. Everything I thought that I knew starts to look so unreal. There's a ringing in my head that keeps me awake at night. Sometimes I don't know what is right. Today I saw a car push my little dog under its wheel. It did not even stop, it just sped off and out of sight.
Chad, Home Show 98.9 WXCO. Online at WXCO.FM. Mobile devices and Alexa by searching WXCO, and on the Civic Media app. Also, you can join us at youtube.com as well on the 98.9 WXCO page. We are just over 3 weeks away from the election, the April 1st spring election here in the state of Wisconsin. And you only have a couple of days remaining if you want to vote via mail or online for April spring election. The deadline to register to vote via mail or online is coming up on Wednesday, March the 12th. You can check out all the ways to register to vote in Wisconsin at myvote.wi.gov. That's myvote.wi.gov. From local to statewide races, make your plan to be a voter between now and Tuesday, April 1st. Go to myvote.wi.gov to make your plan today. So again, it's coming up quickly. 3 weeks, 22 days away from today is election day, and some very important election statewide, and of course here in central Wisconsin as well. Got Village of Weston Board President on the ballot. We got other races involved here in the central Wisconsin area as well. Late last week, as I was traveling, started to see some postings on social media concerning some sort of tragedy involving the D.C. Everest School District. And at first, there was not a lot of information out, and then started to get more information, and it came out just a tragic event, that a D.C. Everest student, 15-year-old, died by suicide. Just tragedy at all levels, brain and bone. And his mother has been so incredibly strong in this. She has come out and spoken about what she thinks has happened here, and is blaming an online scam known as sextortion. It's a scheme where scammers target people, often young boys, and coerce them into sending explicit images. Then they threaten to release the photos or videos unless the target pays them money, or produce, shares, or live streaming acts of self-harm, animal cruelty, sexual explicitness, and or suicide. And one can just imagine that if you were an adult and were put into a situation like this, how difficult it would be. And then you try to put yourself in the position of back when you were a teenager. And I know I was a teenager that would not have been able to handle that at all. And I've said this to folks before, that I'm very glad I grew up before social media, because I just think that we're asking so much of these kids. There's so much pressure being put on, and then you're adding that kind of pressure on as well. But Braden Bones' mother, Brittney Bird, put a posting on Facebook and said that Braden loved his life. He loved his friends. He loved his family. He loved baseball and skiing. He loved being annoying and messing with his damn hair. He did not do this because he was unhappy, she wrote. He did this because he was forced to. Braden's mother said and made it clear that her son's death was not due to being previously suicidal. According to a story at WSAW.com, they talked to a person that's very familiar with this issue, a man named John DeMay, a Michigan father, former police officer. His son, Jordan, died in a similar scam nearly 3 years ago. DeMay said in the story, "My son never felt like he had it in him to come and talk to me. He felt like he was going to handle this on his own, and he didn't need to. It's something that I have to deal with every day." DeMay explained how scammers manipulate victims by threatening to send explicit images to their parents and friends, pressuring them into pain or doing actions outside their will. They put a lot of pressure on you, he said, saying, "Hey, if you don't comply, we're going to send your nude picture to your mom and all your friends' mothers." He said, all this is going through your mind. You're scrambling, trying to figure out how to stop this. And since his own child committed suicide, DeMay has since dedicated himself to spreading awareness, encouraging parents to have open conversations with their children. He told WSAW that he had a woman reach out to me about a year ago. She told me, "I talked to my boys about this 6 or 8 months ago. Last night, my youngest came downstairs and said, 'Hey, remember that Michigan football player who killed himself? It's happening to me.'" DeMay will be in Beaver Dam this week, an event coming up on Wednesday. He warns that sextortion can happen quickly, sometimes within minutes. He says there are no warning signs. Some of these kids are taking their lives within 30 or 40 minutes. And again, there's such an evil aspect to it. Evil. That's what it is. It's evil. The idea of somebody out there extorting kids like this, it's just wrong on every single level. And then to have a child who felt like he had no answers. Everything that we have seen from his mother, that this was a boy that had so much going for him and a family that was so loving. A visitation and celebration of life will be held this Thursday at the Rothschild Pavilion. Visitation is scheduled from 1 to 5 p.m. with the celebration of life to follow. In announcing the services, Braden Bones' mother welcomes the community support. She said, "Everyone who wants to come honor my son is welcome." I mean, your heart breaks when you read the obituary. I read the obituary this weekend.
It's horrible.
It's sounded like a young man that had, again, a great heart. She described her son as so funny and kind and had such a big heart. He was the kid who would annoy you on purpose and then make you laugh when you were trying not to. He always wanted people around him to be happy. And a note that there are folks out there that can help if there's a situation like this. There's an organization called Take It Down. And if sexual photos or videos are taken before you are 18 that are online, Take It Down will remove them for free. So find Take It Down online, contact them, and they will help. But again, the pressures that are put on, and this is beyond anything that, when you're getting extorted, and this was, and as Braden's mother said, sextortion. You're put in a position that you think there's no answers. There's no way to get out of it. There always is a way to get out of it. Embarrassment's not the worst thing in the world. Getting past it is the best thing. And if there is somebody in your life that you know that is struggling with mental health, there is outside help. One way is real simple. Call, text, or chat 988. That will get you immediate help. But also just reach out. There are people that care. And you just feel the heartbreak for this family. You feel the heartbreak for the entire DC Everest community. You feel the heartbreak for the kids who were friends of this boy. And I don't have the answers when it comes to the way that social media and online activity is used to hurt others. But
I don't think anybody has the answers because
I
social
mean,
media has just grown so much in the last few years alone. I mean, back when I was in high school, I mean, the only social media that I had was Facebook, and that was back when Twitter had Twitter. Like, we had Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. Those are the four main ones. But then, just
to me, that still sounds like a lot. That's a lot.
Honestly, I think just one of them was enough. I mean, Facebook itself has just grown so massive, and the fact, and just,
but it just feels like
people use it to hurt others and to make others feel bad is just, it's completely wrong, and so many innocent people are getting hurt because of it, and it's totally unfair.
No, it's true, and the technology that continues to just move so quickly.
It does.
The AI technology and everything else, it just moves so fast, and once the genie is out of the bottle, it's
hard to get it back in.
It's impossible, I think, at this point.
Yeah.
But again, it's just a sad story all around. Yeah. And I know there's been just an outpouring of good that has come as well. The people that have brought the outpouring of any way to help this family has been actually heartwarming. And the way that
it's like Mr. Rogers always says, always look for the helpers.
Exactly.
There's always people out there ready to help. You just got to know where to look.
Yep, you're exactly right. So again, just wanted to talk about that briefly, and hopefully that the family is getting what they need. And again, hopefully all the folks over in the DC Everest School District are getting the help that they need as well to go through a very difficult week here after the death of one of their students, a 15-year-old boy, Braden Bone. The time is 8:48. Again, the sun is shining here this morning. Beautiful start to what should be a spring-like day. Again, we'll keep you up to speed on the weather. Again, temperature expected into the 60s before all this said and done this afternoon. We'll take a quick time out and be right back Monday morning. Hopefully it was a good weekend. And again, hopefully you turn your clocks forward as we begin daylight savings time. Chad Holmes Show, 98.9 WXCO.
When they ask me, what are you looking at? I always answer, nothing much, not much. I think they know that I'm looking at them. I think they think I must be out of touch, but I'm only in the outskirts and in the fringes, on the edge and off the avenue. And if you want me, you can find me left of center, wondering about you.
Chad Holmes Show, 98.9 WXCO, WXCO.FM, mobile devices, and Alexa by searching WXCO and on the Civic Media app. Time is 8:52. Tough weekend on the hardwood for Wisconsin basketball teams. The Milwaukee Bucks lost both Saturday and Sunday nights at Pfizer Forum. Bucks lost to the Orlando Magic 111-109 on Saturday, and then faced the best team in the NBA record-wise this year, Cleveland, and the Cavaliers beat the Bucks last night 112-100. Giannis had 30 points last night, moved into 50th place on the all-time NBA scoring list. Bucks are now 36-27. They hit the road tomorrow night, taking on the Indiana Pacers. Both Marquette and Wisconsin lost their regular season finales in college basketball. The Golden Eagles on Saturday fell to number 6 ranked St. John's in overtime, 86-84. Marquette is now the number 5 seed for the Big East tournament. They will start off the Big East tournament at Madison Square Garden in New York on Thursday at 1:30, taking on the number 4 seed Xavier. Also on Saturday, at home, the Wisconsin Badgers lost their regular season finale, losing to Penn State 86-75 at the Kohl Center. The Badgers now they had a chance to get a double bye in the Big Ten tournament that starts later this week. Now they only get a single bye, which still ain't bad, but at the same time they would have liked to have been able to go right into the double bye quarterfinals.
Very true.
The Badgers will be a 5 seed, take on either Minnesota or Northwestern on Thursday. Minnesota and Northwestern face off in a first round matchup coming up on Wednesday. Also, the Wisconsin women's hockey team continues to be so impressive. They won the WCHA championship this past weekend, edging Minnesota in the championship round, and they are now the #1 seed in the NCAA tournament. And the Badgers will play Saturday against the winner of Clarkson and Boston University. They face off Thursday, and then the winner takes on Wisconsin at LeBron Arena on Saturday. Wisconsin men's hockey team saw their season end last night, falling 3-2 at Ohio State in the Big Ten tournament. The Badgers finish up at 13-21-3. And Wisconsin's women's basketball team will be looking for a new head coach as Marissa Mosley resigned over the weekend. She has been the coach since 2021 with 47-75 overall. So new women's basketball coach coming to Wisconsin. High school, right? Busy weekend. Lots of activity going on in both basketball and hockey, of course. We were down at the hockey state tournament this weekend. Central Wisconsin Storm in the championship round on Saturday fell to the Bay Area Ice Bears by a score of 8-0. Bay Area, 2 goals in the first, 2 goals in the second, 4 in the third, but still an outstanding campaign for the Storm as they've had 5 state championships over the years and add a runner-up trophy to the trophy case after this fantastic season. Also in the state hockey championships on Saturday, Division II, Tomahawk Hatchets win their first ever high school hockey championship as they were able to beat Amory by a score of 5-3 in the championship round. And in Division I, it was Madison Edgewood earning their first ever state championship, defeating Notre Dame Academy 5-2. Notre Dame Academy had eliminated Wausau West in the state semifinals on Friday by a score of 8-4. Also, a lot of activity. Tickets to the state tournament in girls high school basketball were punched on Saturday with sectional finals. Tough end of the season for Wittenberg-Burnham. Whitburn had been undefeated the entire season, but come up just short of the state tournament as Xavier defeated them. Appleton Xavier 63, Whitburn 45 in a sectional final in D3 on Saturday. Assumption is heading to state Division 5. They defeated Sevastopol 61-42. And also Owen Withy heading to state, beating Eau Claire Emmanuel Lutheran in a D5 sectional final 37-29. Saturday night in boys high school basketball, regional final play. Wausau West saw their season and the Warriors finished up 18-8. Really good season for West. Tough night on Saturday, losing to Eau Claire Memorial 53-25. Wausau East in Division II earns a regional championship. They defeated Menominee by a score of 68-35, so they move on to sectionals on Thursday. Mosinee lost on Saturday in D2, 80-67 to Onalaska in a regional final. Marathon in a heartbreaker game that was heard right here on WXCO with Tom Weaver on Saturday night. Auburndale hit a buzzer beater. Thomas Aui on a putback beat the Red Raiders 51-49. Auburndale will take on Stratford in a Division IV sectional semifinal on Thursday. Stratford double up Hurley by a score of 64-32. So lots of high school sports, lots of thrillers in boys and girls basketball and hockey. Hockey is now done for the season. Girls basketball has their state tournament starting Thursday at the Resch Center in Green Bay. Boys basketball have sectionals, semifinals on Thursday night, finals on Saturday before their state tournament coming up, not this weekend, but the following weekend at the Kohl Center in Madison. The time is 8:58, top of the hour. That means a news update, information update, news, weather, sports, entertainment, all coming up. And then the second hour of the program here on this Monday. Glad you could be with us on this Monday morning. Again, beautiful start. First weekday of daylight savings time. Temperature already up a bit, 36 degrees here at our studios at the corner of Washington Street and North 3rd Street in downtown Wausau. With Ian Welsh, I'm Chad Holmes. Chad Holmes Show, 98.9 WXCO.
All I need is a TV show, that and the radio. Down on my luck again, down on my luck again. I can show you some of the people in my life. I can show you some of the people in my life. It's driving me mad. Just another way of passing the day.
Good morning. It is Monday, March the 10th of 2025. Yeah, this year is just flying right on by. March the 10th already. First weekday of daylight savings time. Beautiful start here in downtown Wausau. The time is 9:07 and the temperature now is 38 degrees under sunny skies. Yep, a lot of sunshine, few clouds out there, but it's going to be a gorgeous day. A real great way to start off the new work week. I am Chad Holmes. It is hour number 2 of the Chad Holmes Show, 98.9 WXCO, online at WXCO.FM, mobile devices, and Alexa by searching WXCO. And, 38 degrees right now, but it's going to get much warmer. Sometimes you have a temperature at this point of the day, you get up another 10, 15 degrees. We're expecting to get up another 25 degrees or so before things are all said and done. In fact, there could be some record highs possible here today. Not sure what the record is. Let me see if I can find out real quickly. But temperatures, record high temperatures for today, March the 10th in Wausau. And actually, I think there's a pretty good chance we are going to get a record here today.
Oh, yeah?
61 degrees is the record here in Wausau.
That's pretty nice.
Yeah, that occurred 13 years ago, 2012. You remember what you were doing 13 years ago? I don't remember what I was doing 13 years ago.
2012. I think I was graduating from high school.
Ah, there you go. Some other area towns and cities and their records for today. Merrill, same day, 2012. They had a high temperature of 59 degrees. Record high temperature in Stevens Point was 63 degrees in 2012, as was Marshfield, 63 degrees. Wisconsin Rapids that day got up to 65. So, but 61 for Wausau, we're going to be right around there. We'll have to wait and see whether or not we get a record high temperature today in Wausau. So a great way to start off the new work week, a chance to get out there and enjoy it.
Especially after daylight savings time, for sure.
Now, I was looking at seeing how long does it take to get over the change when it comes to daylight savings time? Yeah.
Well,
how long do you think it takes for people to get used to it? Because it does take a little time for the body to get used to starting their days off an hour early.
I would say probably on average, it takes probably 2 to 3 weeks for people to adjust to that.
Very good. Very good guess.
Especially to adjust to the sleep schedule, because my family on a Sunday after daylight saving time, I was talking to my mom, and she was telling me that, well, I just feel completely drowsy today. Like, I don't feel awake at all. I just feel so tired. And yeah, it's definitely definitely on average, I would say probably best guess 2 to 3 weeks for people to adjust to daylight savings time.
Well, scientists say that it could take some of us, and again, there's not one answer for this. I mean, some people,
a lot of factors.
Some people, it's basically no time at all, and other people, it takes a while. But according to some studies that have been made by scientists, it could take some of us up to 2 weeks to recover from the effects of our shifted clocks. So you're right on there, about
Nice.
2 weeks or so.
That should have been the number of the day.
Well, could have well been. I had a couple of options, and coming up at the end of the show, we always have our daily history lesson where we talk about some of the famous events that occur on this date in history. Today, March the 10th.
Yeah.
Celebrity birthdays, special events being acknowledged today, and then our number for the day quiz. And the actual number for the day that is provided. We have a service that gives us some information here, and one of the items is the number for the day. And I decided that I'm not going to use this, not because it's not a good one. And in fact, I'm going to talk about it right now, but because I want it to be a little bit more uplifting to start off the end of the show here and launch people into their Mondays, because this one kind of makes me a little bit annoyed. But according to the number for the day that was given to us was the number of historic photos and online posts marked for purging from the Department of Defense as part of its effort to remove materials related to diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Jeez.
I mean, many of the images feature women and minorities, but Pete Hegseth, the new Secretary of Defense, has made killing DEI basically one of his top priorities. And they're actually spending their time at the Department of Defense going through historic photos and other online materials to purge because they think it might be DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. But the number, how many historic photos and online posts have been marked for purging from the Department of Defense? Take a guess. I'm not going to even give you a number. I'm going to say yes. Just take a guess.
How many photos have been
marked
for perjury?
Yeah, just marked. They were going through things and saying, hey.
Okay, I'm going to take a shot here.
It's hard. I know it's hard. But it's only been 2 months, so less than 2 months. So it's not like they've gone through everything anyway. So
700? Just taking a guess.
I wish it was that low because it's 26,000.
Jeez.
But the thing is, the Department of Defense spending their time going through photos to try to purge for DEI when they should be working on defending the country. That seems to be.
It just shows on how unqualified this person is.
I know it does, but it comes from the top. It starts with Donald Trump and goes right on down. So 26,000 historic photos and online posts have been marked for purging from the Department of Defense as part of its effort to remove materials related to DEI. So
I'm glad that wasn't the number of the day.
Yeah, because I
would not have gotten that.
Yeah, I thought, I don't want to do that. I don't want to end it with a note that would make us a little bit annoyed. So what I decided to do is, because we talked a little bit earlier about golf courses.
Yeah.
About, being so warm, being in the 60s, and people start to think about hitting the links. Well, the topic for the number for the day will be golf courses.
Okay.
So I think it'll be a good fit.
I hope you're listening, because you might know the answer to this one.
I'm guessing that he might know the answer to this one, but he's better not be sending you any hints on this. But we don't know it within the topic.
He sends me the mental vibes.
But, yeah, there you go. But that's only the topic. I will get very specific when it comes to the actual number for the day when we get towards 9:55, 9:56 this morning. Yeah, I think it is. I think that, after a long winter, you get a day like today, you start to think of those outdoor activities. And one of the things that people love to do here in north central Wisconsin is go golfing. We have some really nice golf courses. And hopefully that the weather, the sunshine will melt any of the snow that's remaining. And then all of a sudden, that's the first step. The second step then is to dry out the courses, because when you melt all the snow, if you go by a golf course, you're going to see a lot of puddles out there.
Oh, yes.
So it's going to take a little time to get those golf courses into
the bunkers themselves. Sometimes even on the holes.
Exactly.
On the greens, you can get like those pretty deep puddles. Like, you think it's not that deep, but then you put your foot in there and you kind of sink a little bit. So,
right. No, you're exactly right.
You have to be patient with the golf courses, because they will be ready. Just, it has to be a little warmer to, fully dry them out.
sometimes I feel like I am just not connected at all with what's going on. I think, I spend a lot of time following what's going on in the news and in politics to make sure I'm able to talk about things in a somewhat intelligent manner. I know some people out there think that I don't do that at all, but I try my best. I follow the sports and the high school sports, but sometimes it's like, I feel like in terms of popular culture, I'm missing out because this weekend, the number one movie at the box office was Mickey 17. And I had never heard of this movie.
I haven't heard of that one either. I haven't been keeping up with pop culture either.
But it's like I look at this and I see,
keep up with Disney, but not really like the big Hollywood movies that have been happening. But I've never actually heard of that movie.
And I'm thinking, Mickey 17, my first thought would be Mickey Mouse, but I don't think it's about Mickey Mouse. Mickey 17 was the number one movie at the box office this weekend, bringing in $19.1 million.
Wow.
It is, but according to Variety, they called it a big budget stumble because apparently it is a science fiction black comedy film. So, actually, it sounds like something I might be interested in. Robert Pattinson is the star. But it was number one, but apparently not at the level that they wanted it to be at. So $19.1 million. Number two was Captain America, Brave New World at $8.5 million. Last Breath at $4.2 million. The Monkey at $3.9 million. And Paddington in Peru at $3.8 million. Now that my evenings are a little bit more open, that winter high school sports is done, maybe at some point may have to go see Mickey 17 just to, since they're a big budget flop right now. They need to get some of that money brought back in. Who knows? But I find it interesting. They're number one by more than double what the number two, but yet according to Variety, not reaching the level that they thought it might. So
I guess that's what they call it, a stumble.
Well, and the thing about it is, it just feels like people don't go to the theaters as much. I think post-pandemic, it's a lot of people watch these movies on streaming services now. So, wait a little
but
time.
It's not the same as seeing
No, it's not. Not at all.
A theater. I like the ambiance of getting into the theater. The smell of the popcorn, the reclining seats, just seeing the bigger screen, the sound in your face. It's very surreal, and just watching it on your TV at home is not the same.
The smell of the popcorn is good. The cost of the popcorn not so good. So,
depends on when you go.
The time is almost 9:19. Again, 38 degrees, sunny skies here in downtown Wausau. Back in a moment here on 98.9 WXCO.
Would you like to play the 2005 again, or not in this hour?
Not right. Well, at the end of the bottom of the hour.
Okay.
Life is so strange when you don't know how can you tell where you're going to. You can't be sure of any situation. Something could change, and then you won't know. Where do we go from here? It seems so near, just as far beyond as I can see. I still don't know what this all means to me. I have nowhere to go. I don't know what to do, and I don't even know the time of day. I guess it doesn't matter anyway. Destination unknown. When you don't know your destination, something could change.
Chad Holmes Show, 98.9 WXCO, online at WXCO.FM, mobile devices and Alexa by searching WXCO, and on the Civic Media app. 38 degrees, plenty of sunshine. You can also tune in by going to youtube.com and the 98.9 WXCO page. See a video stream of our program as well. And you can be part of the show by calling or texting. And again, the number to call or text is the same number, 715-382-9297. That's 715-382-9297 to join us and be part of the program here on 98.9 WXCO. And of course, you can do it as well by using your Civic Media app. Just download the app, search Civic Media in your app store, download it. It is free. And then you'll have all of the stations on the Civic Media radio network available to you at the touch of a fingertip. So again, a lot of that going on. This morning, following along again, in terms of the markets. And to be honest with you, I've never been one that either gets too high or too low, depending on where the markets go, because basically, I've never been in the market. It's basically a rich person thing, because there are times where good economic news for average people would lead to the stock market going down. I mean, it'd be ridiculous. It's like, for some reason, the richest people don't like that when so it's good economic news for those who are not the richest people in the world. But it's been interesting. Last week, as we heard on our top of the hour news update, was the worst week of the markets in 6 months, because Donald Trump again rattling his saber when it comes to tariffs, threatening 25% tariffs, saying they're going to go into effect, then backing off and saying we're going to wait again a month. I mean, Donald doesn't seem to know what he's doing. And today, there's still some. I laughed because I saw a social media post talking about some of the rich people are really nervous because the markets could go down another 5% today, because based on, again, the tariff promises of Trump and some of the other economic activity. Again, the markets should not rattle people, whether they go up or go down. I know a lot of people in their 401ks, it matters. But the idea here that the market going up or down should affect our lives in a major way. Yes, if it continues week after week after week, yeah,
some way, but it shouldn't be at the end of the world, I don't think.
Some good news to report.
Oh, okay.
X went down this morning. Elon Musk.
The whole
X
site went down?
Well, according to Variety a few minutes ago, so Elon Musk's social media platform X, previously known as Twitter, has spent periods of Monday down for thousands of users in the U.S. and the U.K. And again, I guess, thousands in the big picture doesn't really sound like a lot, because I don't know how many people are using it on a consistent basis now.
Yeah.
But according to outage tracking website downdetector.com, in the first incident, there were more than 21,000 incidents of people in the U.S. reporting issues with the platform, and 10,800 in the U.K., The platform appeared to be back to normal early this morning, but then later in the morning, X went down again with more than 5,000 incidents about 30 minutes ago at about 8:45 a.m. Central Time. X did not immediately respond to Variety's request for comment, and Musk is yet to address the outage on his own X page. I got a prediction to make that Elon Musk will not be part of the Donald Trump administration in 3 months' time. I think they're starting to hear some rumbles of discontent within Trump's own administration, that people that are in charge of different agencies within the federal government are worried that they're going to get blamed when all these cuts that are occurring, there's going to be issues. There's going to be problems. There's going to be things that people in the United States of America expect to get done that won't get done. And who's going to get blamed? The people at the top of the pyramid within those agencies. They're worried that what Elon Musk is doing is going to cause them to look bad and not have Musk take the blame when all of the garbage hits the fan. So mark this down, that it is March the 10th of 2025. That means by June the 10th of this year, Elon Musk will be announcing that he's going to go back, focus on Tesla. He's going to go back and focus on his space programs. He's going to go focus on X. He's going to focus on other things, and he's going to be leaving the Trump government within the next 3 months. That's my prediction.
There's a saying that, for the rich people, it's not my problem until it starts happening to me. I mean, that is
true.
So cynical. It's like, well, it's not my problem. It's happening to other people, but it doesn't affect me, so not my problem. But then as soon as it starts to affect them, it's like, okay, I need to do something about this. It's like, why weren't you doing something before?
Unfortunately, though, Ian, I think that's not just a rich person thing. I think that's everybody.
That's a common people.
I've read a number of stories recently about people that have lost their jobs because of all the cuts from DOGE, and they're saying, "No, I voted for Trump, but I didn't expect this to happen." Well,
what did you think was going to happen?
The idea, though, is that if it happened to somebody down the hall, if the person that's working at a desk across the way gets their job taken away, then it's okay. No, it should not have to affect you personally before you actually start to say, hey, this ain't right. But unfortunately, we all look at it from our own point of view too often.
Yeah.
The time is 9:29. Another information update. How are the markets doing? We're going to find out coming up next here on WXCO.
I'm still listening, but still unsure. Your actions are lacking, nothing is clear.
Hello there, this is James.
Melissa,
Chad.
And Seth, inviting you to come work with us. Civic Media is looking for a full-time sales professional to work with existing and new broadcast and digital media clients.
we're a fast-growing company that offers competitive wages, benefits, a relaxed working environment that focuses on quality of life and includes a team of support to reach our shared goals.
Join us in continuing what we have done for 80 years. Be a part of the community, put into the community, celebrate community.
Find out more by contacting Chuck Gennaro at 715-935-8030 or email chuck.gennaro@civicmedia.us. All inquiries are confidential. Civic Media Incorporated is an equal opportunity employer, and we look forward to you joining us.
Hey, Wisconsin, it's construction season, and the Wisconsin DOT wants to help you safely navigate work zones. Check 511wi.gov or download the app for roadwork or closures on your route. Know before you go with 511 Wisconsin. Sponsored by the Wisconsin DOT.
Chad Holmes Show, 98.9 WXCO, online at WXCO.FM, mobile devices, and Alexa by searching WXCO, and on the Civic Media app. Coming up after we're done, it'll be Matinaire on air from 10 a.m. until 12 noon. At 10:30, Jane and Greg, welcome back to the show. Retired Major General Randy Manner, National Security Leaders for America, for a conversation about what is going on in international affairs and how it affects us here in Wisconsin. So that's Matinaire on air from 10 a.m. until noon, and then stick around. Todd Alba back with us from noon until 2 today. Maggie Dawn from 2 until 4, and then finally Dom Salvia from 4 until 6. So make sure you keep it right here all day long. 98.9 WXCO. An interesting piece of information just came out in the last few minutes, and
Okay.
Actually over the weekend I was thinking about this a little bit. This idea that conservatives have pushed for many years about the liberal media, that the media is liberal, when in fact it is not liberal. It is a conservative media. You got the very rich, the billionaire class, the Jeff Bezos of the world, who are running places like the Washington Post, Rupert Murdoch running the Wall Street Journal. And this morning, a longtime reporter, editor for the Washington Post, Ruth Marcus. And she's been somebody that you can agree with a lot, and maybe there's times you disagree, but she is somebody that has been a pillar at the Washington Post for 4 decades. She has been somebody that's been an opinion writer. And recently, Jeff Bezos, the owner of the Washington Post, said that they're going to change the opinion section of the Post, that they're going to basically narrow their focus, not have as much in terms of broad discussion when it comes to what is going on in the world.
He said there was only 2 focuses that they were going to do. Very specific, but
exactly the pillars of individual liberties and free markets.
Free markets
and individual liberties. Well,
I knew it was something about markets.
Right, you're exactly right. And this morning, well, actually, what happened was Ruth Marcus had written an article that would be put in the opinion section of the Post, talking about concern about the direction of the paper's opinion section, saying that there's some concern out there within herself, within
Right.
others on the opinion side, that this new focus would be bad for the paper and bad for the country. Well, she submitted this to be put under her byline where she writes opinion columns for the Washington Post. Well, the CEO of the paper, Will Lewis, and this man, Will Lewis, is somebody that came to the Washington Post after working for the Wall Street Journal under Rupert Murdoch. He had worked over in England for Rupert Murdoch papers as well. He is somebody that would not be considered friendly to those left of center.
Oh, dear.
And he is somebody that got into a little trouble for being the editor of one of the major papers in England that was doing some illegal reporting, basically, doing some illegal wiretapping and eavesdropping on members of the royal family. And they were forced to pay a rather large sum to members of the royal family for this illegal work. But Will Lewis killed the column that Ruth Marcus had submitted to talk about the concern about the direction of the paper's opinion section. Well, in the last 20 minutes or so, it has come out that Ruth Marcus, after that, has resigned from the paper. And she posted on her online forums, whether Blue Sky and others, that she says, with immense sadness, I am writing to let you know that I have resigned from the Washington Post. In an email sent this morning to Jeff Bezos and Will Lewis and pasted below, I am taking this step after more than 40 years at the Post following Will's decision to spike a column that I wrote expressing concern about the newly announced direction for the section and declined to discuss the decision with me. As I leave, I'd like to emphasize two things. First, how much affection and respect I have for you all, and the terrific, innovative, probing coverage you produce. This was a note to the Washington Post staff. Second, that my decision reflects what is the right step for me and me alone, and does not suggest what anyone else should do in the circumstances in which we find ourselves. The thing is, I think you can have great respect for Ruth Marcus deciding that what is being done at the Washington Post is wrong. But at the same time, the way I look at it is I will not criticize those who stay at the Post to fight for their belief in what that newspaper should be. Because if everybody who disagrees with Jeff Bezos and Will Lewis's new ideas about where the Post should go, and they all leave, they will be replaced by people that will fit that mindset. And the people that are willing to fight for it. And that reminds me of the old saying where people would say, hey, if Donald Trump is elected president, I'm going to leave the country. And often it's hyperbole. But some people do decide they want to leave the country. I would rather stay and fight for what we believe in.
Me too.
That if you leave the country, if you leave America and leave it to people like Trump and Jeff Bezos and Will Lewis, then all of a sudden there's nobody there to push back. And the country will go into the vision that those folks have for it. And it's the same thing here with the Washington Post. For Ruth Marcus to decide that, hey, I cannot continue when the editor, the CEO, will not meet with me to talk about why this column was spiked. And that is the right move for her. I think it's nice that she said at the end, hey, this is what I think for me. This is the best move for me and me alone. For those of you who have similar feelings about what this paper should be, and you stay and fight for it, that is perfectly okay. And I do think that we need folks to stay and fight at the Washington Post and at the New York Times and other papers that seem to be shying away from conflict when it comes to the new administration. So I just think this is rather significant that somebody that has 40 years of experience at the Washington Post has decided that she cannot stay anymore, that she has to move on. But at the same time, I do worry that people leaving the Post will turn the Post into a right-wing rag that does not hold accountability to power, that Donald Trump will not get a pushback anymore. And that's a worrisome aspect. Also, another story that is kind of broken over the weekend that we need reporting on is a man named Mahmoud Khalil. Mahmoud Khalil is somebody that was at Columbia University and led the encampment protesting Israel and its what they call genocide against Palestinians. Well, last week, Donald Trump and his administration announced that a great deal of funding has been taken away from Columbia University. And now this student leader, Mahmoud Khalil, has been arrested and moved by ICE to a detention facility in Louisiana. And what happened was that a couple of days ago, the Department of Homeland Security detained Khalil, who had helped lead the Columbia encampment. Agents told him his visa was revoked. He said he had a green card. The people from the DHS were confused and then said that was revoked too. His attorney demanded a warrant and the agents hung up instead. This is what is happening out there, people. You can agree or disagree with folks at Columbia over the last year and their encampments to talk about their feelings about the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. You can agree or disagree.
Yeah.
But the idea that somebody using their free speech rights is now have been arrested, hauled away from New York City, where Columbia University is, to a detention facility in Louisiana. And that when their attorney, his attorney, demanded a warrant and demand answers, agents hung up. There's something stinking in this situation.
Absolutely. There's something very wrong in that situation.
And the idea that this can happen again to this one person, and we have
This isn't
these
gonna happen to other people.
quote detention facilities. That's very close to a Trump concentration camp. You don't like, the folks in the government don't like what you're doing or what you're saying, they'll haul you away. And it sounds like they were looking for pretense here. If he has a green card, he has a right to be here. And now they're hauling him away to a detention facility led by ICE. This has to be watched, folks. Watch what's happening here. Because, again, there have to be rules for ICE. There have to be rules for the DHS. Just like there has to be rules for all of us. But you hear people like Musk talking about, well, no, we shouldn't have any rules. If we need rules, and when I say rules, he has said regulation. But what is regulation? Regulation is rules.
Rules are the backbone of our society. If we don't have rules and regulations,
then people like Donald Trump
society's going to break down.
and ICE and DHS can do what they want.
Yeah.
So again, Mahmoud Khalil being held by ICE in a detention facility in Louisiana after his lawyer was refused answers on what was going on here. When you start hauling away people and they're hanging up on the lawyers, there is something that stinks big time right now.
I really hope his lawyer is going to fight back against
Well,
this. I hope he gets him out of jail.
We need some judges and others that will stand up, and we also need, again, what the conservatives call this liberal media that seems to be kowtowing to Trump at the highest levels, the billionaire owners. So, again, I think, interesting things to keep an eye on as we continue.
Definitely.
9:48 is the time. Coming up, we'll have our daily history lesson. We'll talk about some famous events, historically speaking, on March the 10th. Plus, at the end, we will have our number for the day quiz. And we will see if Ian can get off to a good start.
Yes.
That is straight ahead here on 98.9 WXCO.
Will you ever come again? Sweet skin, soft and white. Waves the circles within the night. Dance inside the dream circle. I'm waiting for you.
Chan Home Show 98.9 WXCO. Real quick note here. I just came across. Donald Trump has cost American taxpayers more than $18 million since he regained the presidency because he insists on playing golf at his Florida courses. That's in less than 2 months. Trump has, again, cost American taxpayers more than $18 million since he regained the presidency, setting him on a pace to exceed the $151.5 million he spent golfing in his first term. This past Saturday, Trump played golf for the 13th day of his 48th in office, and it was his 10th day playing at his course in West Palm Beach in Florida. So,
Something wrong here, people.
I tell ya.
All the evidence is here. He's doing all
I'm
this.
sorry.
Just
Let's stop paying Donald Trump's green fees, okay? If he wants to
Please.
golf, he'll pay for it himself. Elon, if you're looking for savings, there you go. All right, just wanted to say that real quickly.
yeah.
Today is March the 10th of 2025. It is day number 69. Day 69. There are 296 days remaining in the year 2025. Some famous events have occurred on March the 10th, this date in history. On this date in 1969 in Memphis, Tennessee, James Earl Ray pleaded guilty to assassinating Martin Luther King Jr. He would later retract his guilty plea. On this date in 1980, Willard Scott debuted as the new weatherman on the Today Show on NBC. On this date in 1991, Easy Rider Peter Fonda led 5,000 motorcyclists through Daytona Beach, Florida to celebrate Bike Week. On this date in 2014, you talk about a landslide. This was a landslide. Kim Jong-un was re-elected leader of North Korea with 100% of the vote. Talk about a popular guy.
Yep. Definitely a landslide.
100% of the vote for King Kim Jong-un. And on this date in 2020, the Russian lower house of parliament passed legislation to allow Vladimir Putin to hold the office of president for life. You don't think Donald Trump would like to see that happen here?
He certainly would.
A few famous folks are celebrating their birthdays today. Chuck Norris is 85. Sharon Stone turned 67. Actor Jasmine Guy from A Different World is 63. Paget Brewster of Criminal Minds is 56. John Hamm of Mad Men turns 54. Carrie Underwood is 42. Olivia Wilde is 41. And Emily Osment of Hannah Montana and Young Sheldon is 33. And if you out there celebrating your birthday, happy birthday to you from all of us at 98.9 WXCO.
Happy birthday.
Special events today. Check Your Batteries Day. International Bagpipe Day. International Lime Day. International Day of Awesomeness. It is Ranch Dressing Day. Pack Your Lunch Day. And Salvation Army Day. So all those special events being
Salvation
acknowledged.
Army is a very important organization.
Yes, it is. Absolutely. All right. It is now time for our number for the day.
First one of the new week.
Yep. We give Ian 3 choices. 1 is right, 2 are wrong. So based on the math, needs to get 1 out of 3 correct, 33%. 33% or better for the week is a passing grade. Below that is a failing grade. But we want a winning week, which is more right than wrong, 3 out of 5.
Yep.
Ian's best week is 4 out of 5, and still looking for that best ever perfect week, 5 out of 5 right.
Hope I get started this week.
Golf courses.
The golf courses.
All right. The number for the day is, how many golf courses are there in the world?
Oh, gosh.
The number of golf courses in the world.
The whole world.
Yep, the whole world. That's our number for the day.
All right. What are my choices?
All right. Your choices are 18,864, 38,864, 58,864.
18,000. You say 36,000?
18,864, 38,864, 58,864.
Oh, boy. Golf courses in the whole world.
In the whole world.
Oh.
Spread among 206 of the 251 countries in the world.
Dad, I hope you're sending me some mental vibes right now. Okay. I'm going to say, oh boy, I'm not saying thoughts. Okay, hold on. Okay, I'm going to say 38,864. I'm going with a B as my final answer.
All right.
Lock it in.
The number of golf courses in the world is 38,864.
Thank you, Dad. You sent me the mental vibes. Oh,
terrific.
Yes.
So 1 for 1 this week.
Great way to start off a beautiful Monday.
Coming up tomorrow, we are going to talk to members of the City of Wausau Sustainability, Energy, and Environment Committee. We do that on a monthly basis. Christine Daniels, part of that SEC committee, and Carol Lukens will be joining us. And Gina Breyu as well, talking about the importance of pollinators. That's coming up. Ian, have a good rest of your day.
You too, Chad. Happy Monday, everybody. Enjoy the beautiful weather.
Matt and Air on Air coming up next here on 98.9 WXCO.